What's good, y'all? Welcome back, and we are officially, officially. You could say like we're back for real. Also, we just had the opening round last weekend. Both games were blowouts, you could say, but we have everybody basically playing this weekend for round one of the AFL season. Should be a good season. Should be a fun season. I'm very looking forward to this round. A lot of good teams, a lot of good opportunities for guys to make plays, and also cannot wait. Cannot wait. But if you guys are new to the channel, it's always don't forget to like the video and sub as well. It's gonna be a good year. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's gonna be a good year. But as you guys know, we're back with the tips and the tricks and the predictions and much more than that. Let's get it. So starting off, we have Thursday, March 13th, Richmond against Carlton. Obviously for Richmond, trying to get right from last year. Very disappointing year last year. If I'm correct, I think Sam Layler, their like top pick, it still hurts. I think like he broke his jaw or something like that, fractured his jaw. I mean, jeez, welcome to the AFL. Welcome to the AFL. Going up against Carlton. I have Carlton beating them. Carlton coming here with a statement. Richmond, I'm still not sold yet. I think they're still like a year or two off, but I got Carlton beating Richmond. Next, Hawthorn against the Bombers. Hawthorn, a lot of people's eyes are going to be one of the best defensive teams in the whole AFL. Going up against the Bombers, who have lost a few players, but also are looking to get right. I got Hawthorn beating them. I think Hawthorn are a very good team. You saw it last week. Very good team. I mean, what they did against Sydney, dominating them really. I got them beating the Bombers, which makes Hawthorn go to a 2-0 start. And it's so funny to see how they went from like pretty shitty to a really good team in span of like a year or two. So big ups to Hawthorn. I got them beating the Bombers. Geelong against Freo. A lot of people's eyes, two teams are going to be in the top eight. Probably one of the most intriguing matchups in the AFL opening off. Obviously, Geelong, old team. And I think one of their players retired last year. I think it was Jeremy Cameron or Hawkins. I think one of them did retire. But still, Geelong, experienced team at home at the GMHBA Stadium against Freo. I got Geelong winning that. Very intrigued with Geelong opening up the season with a win against Freo. Looking forward to that game. Now, all ready to open up the season for Brisbane. It's a rematch of last year's grand final against Sydney. Brisbane, who I'm hoping can repeat this year. It's gonna be hard. I couldn't. When was the last time a team repeated in the AFL? You guys let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, new incomer Levi Ashcraft. We already seen Will, how good he was. The Ashcrofts, man. I mean, hey, hey. Um, Big ups to them. Is that SCG Sydney Brisbane, who I'm assuming are going to have some guys back. Obviously, we did lose Lincoln McCarthy. I think he tore his ACL for the season. I mean, my gosh, bro. It's not a good start to the season. You know, already having guys out for the season. But I think, hopefully, Keon Coleman is back from injury. I think he's still hurt, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Sydney, who need to respond from last week. I got Brisbane. I think Brisbane are going to come here and make a statement, show why we are the best team in the AFL. And Sydney could potentially start the season off 0-2, which is really interesting. But first two games for Sydney have been pretty hard to start it off. But I got Brisbane being Sydney. Western Bulldogs against North Melbourne. Let's just get this out the way. I got Western Bulldogs being North Melbourne. I do like some like North Melbourne's players, cool players, intriguing players. Think the Western Bulldogs need to come out here. Obviously, they are beat up. Very beat up. Like I said, no Bontempelli, who's going to be out for a few weeks. And it won't be as easy as I really think it is because the injuries may catch up to them. But I still do think they are going to have enough to beat North Melbourne, especially at home at the Marvel Stadium. I got Western Bulldogs beating North Melbourne. And even going back to Brisbane, we should be live for that game. I do need to probably go ahead and just purchase the AFL like season pass again, like just in case, because I was hoping it was on like the Fox Sports channel here in the States. It wasn't for some reason. So I probably need to buy that by Saturday. So at 1:15, we can watch the game. Collingwood against Port Adelaide. Collingwood needs to respond back against Port Adelaide. Rough start to the season for Collingwood, who I thought were actually going to win. But Collingwood, fourth place back at home against Port Adelaide. I think Collingwood will respond back and just show like, okay, last week just one off. We didn't play well, but I think they will be Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide has some good players as well. But I got Collingwood. By the day goes, boys, they should win. I got and my boy Meyer Check. they should be able to beat Port Adelaide at home. Another good matchup as well. I think a lot of these matchups are really, really good and interesting to see because obviously some changes have been made. New guys coming in, old guys coming out. Can we see some progression from some teams? Well, some teams regress. And obviously, Collingwood, another team who are projected to make the top 8. Let's see what they do. Next, we have Adelaide against St. Kilda. Two disappointing teams. I've always said about Adelaide, they're kind of just mid. Haven't really improved, but haven't really went bad with Adelaide. Going up against St. Kilda, who had a disappointing season last season. Obviously, St. Kilda's hat was just weird. It was just weird from last season. You know, Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. I think St. Kilda does beat Adelaide. I think St. Kilda need to come out here and show, okay, last year was a fluke. Time for us to get right. Time for us to improve on what we do. I got St. Kilda beating Adelaide. Sunday, Melbourne against GWS. I got GWS when I was intrigued with GWS last week. I think scoring wise they're gonna be very, very good again. I think they were one of the top scoring teams last season as well. GWS will score. GWS will score. I'm pretty confident about that every game against Melbourne, who hopefully we see something from them this season. They're they're not a bad team, but I do have GWS being Melbourne at the MCG. West Coast against Gold Coast. The battle of the coast. West against Gold Coast, who I can see improvement from Gold Coast. I think they are going to improve this season. Looking forward to them. West Coast, who were one of the worst teams in the AFL last season. Just gotta keep it a buck. Not good. Struggled a lot last season. A lot of times they're just getting their butts kicked, against Gold Coast. Hopefully we can see something from West Coast this season and it shows why they can potentially improve. But similar to what I said about North Melbourne, there's still like a few, a year or two off. I think Gold Coast at some point, I think Damien Hardwick coaches them as well. They need to improve. I think Gold Coast are a very interesting team. They have some solid players as well. But it seems like with them, they just kind of they're just mid a lot throughout the season. But I do have Gold Coast beating West Coast. And for these matchups, man, very, very interesting matchups. Very, very good matchups. A lot of potential top 8 teams. Some top 8 teams who we have constantly seen are looking to reclaim their stake in the top 8. You guys let me know where I went wrong, where I was actually pretty good at. I think my predictions last week were actually pretty good. So let's see what this week brings. You guys let me know in the comments down below. You guys' predictions for these games. Don't forget to like the video. Sub as well. Hopefully, potentially, most likely we'll see you guys this weekend. Peace.